If you are struggling with bloating on a plant-based diet, then you are not alone, and today I'm going to explain to you why this is happening and what you can do to work through it. Hello, my honeys. It's Emmie. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Emmie. I'm a nutritionist and the creator of the Slim on Starch program. If you want to work with me, as well as a mindset coach and a nutrition coach, go to healthyemmie.org or just click the link in the down bar, and I can't wait to talk to you. Now, you may be watching this and go, I already know about fiber. I've tried all the tricks. I've tried it all. I just want relief right now. Then you have to watch this video because you are likely impatient and wanting results right this second, which means you rush through things and do them too quickly, which is part of the reason why you are bloated, which I will talk about later. So please do yourself a favor and watch this entire video. I'm gonna make it worth it because at the end, I'm gonna show you what my stomach looks like after a meal. Here is what my stomach looks like right now before eating. After this video, your girl's gonna eat. And your girl's gonna show you what my stomach truly looks like, so stick around until the end. If you are new to a plant-based diet, then you are dramatically increasing your intake of dietary fiber. And you might say, Emmie, I'm not new to a plant-based diet. I knew this video wasn't gonna teach me anything. Be patient. Remember what I told you about patience, young one. Dietary fiber is something that we cannot digest. It creates bulk in food, it creates bulk in our stomach, it helps stool move along, but we can't digest it. Plant foods are very high in fiber, which is why when we eat a big volume of plant foods, our stomach gets pretty full because there's a lot of fiber in there and we can't digest it. The only thing that we can do once fiber is in our stomach is poop it out, which is why fiber is so great for keeping you regular. I've shown my stomach and I'm talking about poop within the first 5 minutes of this video, so you know it's a good one. Okay, great. So now I understand that I'm eating more plant-based foods. Plant-based foods have fiber in them. They also have a lot of water in them, which is why my stomach gets quite big and my body can't digest it and just shrink it into nothing. I have to poop it out. And so it's gonna take a while to move all of that through. You know, digestion can take up to 72 hours. And then comes the question of, well, wait a minute. I mean, you tell us that a plant-based diet is a natural diet. And if it's our natural diet, shouldn't we be able to take care of fiber quite well? Why does it make us look so bloated and unattractive? Well, let's back this up because it's likely that if you're eating a plant-based diet now, you haven't been eating one your entire life. I know that I haven't eaten a plant-based diet my entire life. I used to eat ketchup sandwiches and strawberry frosted donuts from Dunkin' Donuts. Now, those foods, white bread, ketchup, white bread, Dunkin' Donuts, these foods are not high in fiber. Processed foods have the fiber destroyed in the factory. Our stomachs know what to do when fiber comes. But if you haven't been eating fibrous foods, if you've been eating processed foods, your stomach muscles haven't been able to do that work. They haven't had a chance to show off how good they are at using this fiber. And so they say, whoa, wait a minute, all of this fiber, we haven't had to do this work in forever. It's like if you're sleeping at your desk and somebody says, okay, there's a lot of work you gotta do. You go, oh, I have work to do. I haven't been doing work in a long time. Or if you go to the gym and you haven't worked out muscles in a long time, your muscles get really sore because they're like, wait a minute, I haven't had to do this in a long time. So you have these muscles that haven't had to work in a long time, and now they're being put to work. And on top of that, you're comparing your digestion and how big your stomach is to when you weren't eating fiber. So when you weren't eating fibrous foods, or you were eating fiber but a very small amount, your stomach wouldn't bloat because you weren't eating any fiber. So now you're eating fiber, which A, we can't digest, and second of all, your stomach hasn't had to deal with fiber in years perhaps. So this is two huge changes, and your stomach says, all right, give me a minute, I need to kick into gear here. So of course your stomach is going to be a little bit inflamed, and perhaps it'll say, give me a little bit of time so I can learn how to digest this again and strengthen my stomach muscles again. Another thing that is so important to know, and I was gonna save it for the end, but I'm just so excited, so I have to talk about it now, is that the stomach is an elastic organ. Why is it an elastic organ? Because it is meant to stretch. It wouldn't be designed this way if it wasn't meant to stretch. So when we eat food, it's normal that our stomach is going to stretch. In fact, in order to digest food, it has to stretch. If our stomach doesn't stretch, then it can't turn the food that we've eaten into what's called chyme, which allows us to absorb the nutrients in the food. So we have to have a stomach that expands and shrinks to help us digest the food. This is how this happens. If our stomach didn't do this, then we wouldn't be able to absorb nutrients and we wouldn't be able to live. So thank goodness that after we eat, our stomach gets bigger. Many people are misinformed about what normal digestion looks like and the fact that our stomach is supposed to stretch a little bit. We go on Instagram and we see these girls with tiny waists, and everybody takes a photo before they've eaten. I mean, come on. There are many brave women out there, and men, I'm sure, that show themselves before and after eating, and I want to display photos of this right now, and I'm adding myself to this list because I'm going to show you what my stomach looks like after I've eaten a meal. And it's totally normal for the elastic organ that we have that allows us to digest nutrients expands and shrinks. This is part of a normal functioning body. Many people think that they're gonna look like a Victoria's Secret swimsuit model every minute of the day, even after they've eaten. And let me tell you what, Victoria's Secret swimsuit models are so unrealistic that angels no longer exist. Our stomach is supposed to stretch when we eat food, especially if you eat a plant-based diet. If you're eating a plant-based diet, you could be eating 6, 7, 8 pounds of food per day. People on the standard American diet that aren't eating these low-calorie, high-volume foods eat much smaller volumes of food. So their stomach, they're eating a small volume of food because it's more dense in calories and it doesn't have fiber, which means that their stomach isn't going to stretch as much. You could eat 1 pound of nut butter, and that would be 2,400 calories. Or you could eat 24 pounds of vegetables, and that would be 2,400 calories. If you're eating 1 pound of nut butter, you're gonna have a tight stomach on that day, but over time, you are going to gain weight. If in one day you eat 24 pounds of vegetables, on that one day, you are going to have a huge stomach, but you're going to stay lean over time. You see, when you eat a plant-based diet, you have to eat larger volumes of food than what traditional standard American diets call for. This doesn't mean that you are going to gain weight. It means that if you step on the scale that day, you will have eaten more food in terms of weight and volume than somebody on a standard American diet, but that food is lower in calories, lower in fat, lower in cholesterol, lower in saturated fat, which means that you're going to be losing weight. But at that time, your stomach is going to appear bigger because you have more food in transit. That's all that's going on here. I have so many people who write me, and even my clients will say, look at this bloating. They'll send me a picture of them at the beginning of the day and the picture of them at the end of the day, and it looks 100% normal. Our stomach is supposed to expand and shrink. I have naturally wavy hair. I straighten my hair. So I straighten my hair. If I step outside and it's a humid day outside, my hair will go poof. Does that mean that there's something wrong with my hair? No, my hair is doing what it knows how to do. That's the way that my hair is designed, to be a little bit more wavy. It has actually a little bit of frizz to it, if I'm being completely honest, but I can straighten it and I can make it look different ways. Right now, my nails are a light pink color. Next time I go to get my nails done, maybe I'll get a chocolate brown color. I can change what it looks like. We are not robots, especially women who have a menstrual cycle and have water weight fluctuations and intense hormonal fluctuations. And as we go over our entire lifespan, if we're really gonna zoom the lens out here, our bodies shape shift over time. The way that you look when you're 15 is not the way that you're going to look when you're 75. We are not supposed to be these robots that look the same every minute of every day. Hey, really quickly, if you are liking this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. It really supports my channel. So for those of you that already watch my channel, you know this. For those of you that don't watch my channel, hey, welcome. If you're new to my channel, you might not know this, but I eat large volumes of food. I'll eat a lot of lettuce and I eat a lot of fruit and potatoes and squash and oatmeal. And there's a lot of bulk to this food. At the end of the day, my stomach is bigger than it is at the beginning of the day. If I go out at the end of the day, my stomach looks bigger. I love fashion. So I have these leather pants on right now. You can see my stomach, right? So no bloating, at the end of the day, if I'm wearing this outfit, my stomach is going to be pushed out a little bit. That's normal. I'm not going to keep it for me showing off my fashion skills. So what I think we really need to do here is replace the word bloating, because bloating usually implies that we are in pain, our stomach is full of air, sometimes holding onto fluid, and that's not what's going on here. Your elastic stomach organ is working perfectly. So instead of saying I'm bloated, perhaps saying I'm elastic. Okay, I like that. Instead of saying I'm bloated, say I'm elastic. That's all that's going on. Your elastic stomach organ is stretching. Okay, so how can we help the bloating as much as possible? How can we make it so that it's not painful and we don't have such a stretched out stomach and we don't have trapped air and we're not gassy? That I'm happy to help you with. If you want me to create an iron stomach for you that doesn't stretch, I can't help you with that one, but I can help you from preventing painful, gassy, horrible bloating. And my tip is to do this. Remember at the beginning of this video, I talked about patience. I see so many people that scarf down their food so quickly. Actually, let me tell you this first. In other countries outside of America, it takes hours to finish a meal. Breakfast can be 2-3 hours. In America, the average breakfast is eaten in under 2 minutes. Do me a favor, time your next meal. You're going to surprise yourself, and probably not in a good way, of how quickly you scarf down the food. In school, when you're growing up, you have 11 minutes to scarf it down. I used to be a teacher. When I was a teacher, you didn't even have time to pee. I had my tiny little lunch break and I scarfed down my food, and then I went back to the classroom and kids started throwing their binders and desks at me again. God bless all the teachers out there. We must eat slowly. The more quickly we eat, it's a recipe for disaster, no pun intended, but it's awful because we swallow air. When we're eating, we're chewing with our mouth open, we're swallowing air that's getting trapped in our stomach. That's the first thing. The second thing is that when we chew, our digestive enzymes that are in our saliva are going to mix with the food to make it easier for our stomach to break down. So if we chew really quickly and we don't give enough time for our saliva to help break down the food, by the time it gets to our stomach says, "Are you kidding me, Emmie? You didn't prepare us for this at all. I have to do double the work because you rushed through the chewing process." So now your stomach has even more work to do on top of what we talked about earlier, with it already dealing with fiber, which it's not used to. It's dealing with new foods that it's not used to. And now it has to have the added burden of digesting food that was supposed to be partway digested in your mouth. So eat slowly. Additionally, eating too quickly is a stress on the body, and stress is going to make blood flow away from your digestive system and towards your arms and your legs so that you can run away from a predator, because your body thinks that there's a predator, and that's why you are so stressed and eating so quickly, because you got to run away from some tiger. I also see people go long stretches of time without food, and then they eat this ginormous plant-based meal with all of these vegetables in it, and then they go, "What the heck, I'm so bloated." No, duh, because you just ate 4 pounds of food and fiber and roughage, and that 4 pounds of fiber and roughage is going to be in your stomach. Of course it is. Where else would it be? It was just on your plate and now it's in your stomach, and on your plate was a bunch of fiber. Remember, we can't digest fiber, so it's not going to collapse into nothing in our stomach. If all this fiber is on your plate and then you eat it, all of that fiber is going to be in your stomach. That is normal. But it's not very pleasant to have this huge stomach. So let's eat more frequently smaller meals. Not saying that your meals have to be small and you have to eat less calories, but eat more frequently throughout the day so that during the day you're eating less, your body can digest what it has, and then you move on to the next thing, and it's not this huge hit so that you have a tiny tummy and then you have a huge tummy because you just ate a ginormous meal. So don't go these long stretches between meals. Eat more frequently throughout the day, smaller plates, since when you're eating plant-based diet, you have to get in a large volume of food. And because you made it to the end of the video, 2 things. The first thing, if you want to work with me because you liked this style of video, this is the way that I teach. I like to joke, I like to laugh. Quite funny. Then apply to work with me, click the link in the down bar, and I'll see you on a call. Oh yeah, let me show you my stomach. So insert now footage of what my stomach looks like after the meal that I'm eating. Here's my stomach after eating. So a normal amount of bloat. As you can see, you know, I could really pose right now. Like if I pose this correctly, I could say it could look like I'm pregnant. If I really place the hand right here, the argument could be made that I'm pregnant. But I'm not pregnant. I just have a belly full of food. All right, that's it. I love you, honeys, and I'll see you in my next one. Woo!